A rookie just shattered every record you could think of. A linebacker is striking pure fear in the locker room. And Bobby Wagner is yelling at everyone right out on the field. Commanders Nation, what went down in Los Angeles was not normal. 3 news stories that are about to flip everything you thought you knew about this season. And I guarantee by the time you're done listening, you'll get why nobody in the NFC East wants to see us right now. Stick around to the end. This last headline is going to blow your mind. After we lost Austin Ekeler for the whole year, I figured our run game was gonna hurt. But here's the thing, I was wrong, and I've never been happier to admit I was wrong in my life. Bill Krosky Merritt just put together the kind of game Commanders fans have been waiting for ever since we grabbed him in round 7. 150 yards from scrimmage to touchdowns, 28 snaps, 16 touches. And you know what his yards per touch average was? 9.4 yards per touch. Let me say that again for the folks out there driving and maybe halfway listening. 9.4 yards per touch. Any idea the last time a Washington rookie went over 150 yards from scrimmage and had to rushing touchdowns in a single game? Alfred Morris, Week 17, back in 2012. That's 13 years ago. Commanders Nation. Gonna be straight with you. When I saw Cliff Kingsbury finally letting this kid loose, I said, all right, let's see what he's got. Because we've been the second best rushing offense in the league in yards, but sitting at 17th in rushing attempts. How are you top 2 in yards but not running the ball more? But Kingsbury finally trusted the ground game against the Chargers, and look what happened. 28 snaps for Krosky Merritt, that's half the offensive snaps in the game. And every single time he got the ball, I had this gut feeling something special was about to happen. This dude's vision, his ability to cut, the way he accelerates through holes, and most importantly, his hands catching passes out of the backfield. That's what the coaching staff wanted to see. A complete running back. Now here's the question. How many 7th-round running backs can do what Krosky Merritt did Sunday? I'm telling you, almost none. Why? Because this kind of talent doesn't usually last until round 7. But Adam Peters caught it. He saw what 31 other teams flat out missed, but here's where it gets even better. Krosky Merritt didn't just run well. He owned it. First half 60 to rushing yards on 8 carries, almost 8 yards a pop. Chargers, who have one of the most physical defenses in the AFC, couldn't bring him down. But what really stuck out to me is 38-yard catch in the 3rd quarter. Kingsbury ran him out of the backfield on a wheel route. And Krosky Merritt not only caught the ball but broke to tackles after the catch, picking up 20 more yards. That's the gap between good backs and elite ones. We're now the top rushing attack in the league. Period. 5.9 yards per carry. 156.4 yards a game. Now get this, the Chicago Bears have arguably the most vulnerable run defense around. They're giving up 143 on the ground every week. Guess who's coming up next? I'm telling you, Krosky Merritt should get at least 20 touches a game from now on, minimum. Kid just showed he can be a legit RB1 in this league. 3 rushing touchdowns on the year. Leads all NFL rookies in that category. And here's the wildest part, this is the first time any Commanders player has had multiple rushing touchdowns in a game since Jaden Daniels did it Week 1 last season. Our rookie QB was the last one to do it before another rookie came and matched him. Think that's just a happy accident? I'm telling you, no, this is Adam Peters drafting smart. This is finding gold in round 7. This is spotting talent 31 other teams just don't see. Cowboys are shelling out millions for Tony Pollard, and the Eagles were desperate to make D'Andre Swift work out. Meanwhile, we land a round 7 gem who's running right through proven NFL defenses. Need even more context? Second half, Chargers tried adjusting to stop the run. Kingsbury got smart, pivoted to use Krosky Merritt more catching passes, and the kid stepped up, snagging for balls for 62 yards, his 1-yard touchdown run in the 4th. Scripted up perfectly, the O-line opened a hole to the right. But watch what Krosky Merritt did. He saw the Chargers linebacker was out of position, cut back inside, broke the safety's tackle, and dove for the end zone. That is pure running back instinct. That can't be taught. That's just raw talent mixed with prep and football IQ. Ready for more stats that'll blow your mind. Out of his 16 touches, Krosky Merritt ripped off 7 explosive plays. That's 7 plays over 10 yards. Just shy of 50% on explosive play rate. For perspective, league average is about 20%. Also, he forced for missed tackles. For Chargers defenders had hands on him, none could finish. His balance after contact is next level for a rookie. And on his longest run, he clocked out at 22 miles an hour. Now here's what really fires me up. Krosky Merritt didn't have a single mistake in pass protection, 0. Each time Kingsbury kept him in the block, he locked onto the right guy and handled his business. For any 7th-round rookie to pull that off against a defense rolling out Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, it's unreal. You know what that means? Means Kingsbury can trust him in any situation. 3rd and long. Krosky Merritt can stay in and block. 2-minute offense. He can go catch one. 1st and 10. Of course, he can take the carry. That is versatility. That is what you want in an NFL running back nowadays. And let me just stack this up with what's going on in the rest of the NFC East. Cowboys got Tony Pollard costing $10 million this year, and he's putting up for point to a carry. Eagles are paying Saquon Barkley $40 million guaranteed. He's playing well, but the guy's 31. Giants, their backfield's a wasteland. And us, we found Krosky Merritt in round 7, got him on a 4-year deal for $3 million. That is what Peters brings us. Other teams throwing away cap for backs. We're digging up value where nobody's looking. I honestly think if Krosky Merritt keeps balling like this, and there's no reason to think he won't, we're looking at the next Pro Bowler for Washington. Count on it. Think that's big. Wait till you hear this. Watching our defense get toasted by the Falcons back in week for hurt. Joe Witt Jr. taking heat for not adjusting. Started against the Chargers and didn't look much better. Then something changed. That something, Jordan McGee, only 12 defensive snaps. 12, but in those 12, this second-year kid made more impact than some starters do in 60. McGee came in as a 4th-round pick in the 2024 draft, and he's basically been watching from the sidelines all year. Our linebacker corps was screaming for a jolt, but Witt was cautious. Why? Old-school coaches gotta see proof before they trust, and McGee finally gave him that at Sophie Stadium. His athleticism, how quick he is off the snap, the physicality he showed making a tackle for loss, all in 12 snaps. Now let me ask you, what could this kid do with 30 snaps, 40? Bobby Vagner and Frankie Lovu are still the main guys, and they should be. Vagner's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Lovu's been one of the best additions in years. But Witt has to find a way to get McGee more reps. Here's why McGee's performance matters so much. In his 12 snaps, he was in on 6 tackles. That's a 50% involvement rate. For reference, NFL average for backers is around 25%, but it's not just the tackles. It's how he made them. 3rd quarter, Chargers tried running weak side. McGee reads it pre-snap, shifts sideways, sidesteps the fullback, and drags the running back down to yards behind the line. That is the kind of play that swings momentum. THAT is what forces the other OC to rewrite their plan on the fly. And then, the thing that impressed me most, in pass coverage, McGee was lights out. For snaps and coverage, 0 catches allowed. He was glued to his assignment like white on rice. You know how tough it is for a second-year backer to cover modern tight ends. It's one of the hardest matchups you'll find in today's NFL, and McGee made it look easy. McGee's physical gifts, can't coach those. That's God-given. That's what turns good players into game changers. And he's slowly but surely earning his coach's trust. Always ready when his number is called. Let me give you some more background on why this is a huge deal for our D's future. Bobby Wagner is 34. One of the best linebackers ever, but he won't play forever. When he hangs it up, we'll need someone lined up to take over. I think that someone is Jordan McGee. So, is it time for Witt to cut McGee loose more? Doesn't he deserve more than just 20% of the defensive snaps? I honestly believe McGee's leap in coverage, paired with just natural run instincts, makes him a valuable chip. Right now, Commanders haven't had a lot of electricity at the second level. Playing McGee more each week would not be the worst thing. Should we expect starter snaps for McGee today? Not quite. But keep learning from Vagner and Lovu. It's not a stretch to imagine this former Temple standout being a key piece of our future here in Washington. Check this: while the Giants are still hunting for someone who can play linebacker, and the Cowboys are clinging to vets past their prime, we're growing young talent that'll still be here in 10 years. 4th quarter against the Chargers. There was a moment that had me out of my seat. Chargers 3rd and 4 at our 38. Justin Herbert snaps it. McGee immediately sniffs out a screen to the right. McGee pulls off his rush, chases down the back. Boom. Tackles him for a 2-yard loss. Chargers had to punt. Play might have saved the game. Crazy part, McGee did that on his 2nd snap of the 4th. just walked onto the field and was already out here making game-turning plays. His knack for the ball is extraordinary. His play awareness is years ahead of where you'd expect in year two. And he preps like a pro for every snap. I've been poring over McGee's tape since draft day. And one thing's clear. He's gotten better across the board. Play recognition, tackle fundamentals, pass coverage huge jump, best part. His mindset. Every snap, it's like he's playing for his life out there. Plays with urgency. Plays with passion. Plays with purpose. That's what you need from your young guys. THAT builds a winning culture. Here's a stat that'll shock you. In McGee's 12 snaps against the Chargers, our defense gave up just 17 yards. 17 yards on 12 snaps. That's 1 point for yards a snap. For comparison, when McGee wasn't out there, we allowed 5.8 per snap accident. I'm telling you, no, when McGee hits the field, our defense speeds up, plays harder, hits meaner. McGee is finally catching a wave of good luck on staying healthy. Commanders would be wise to keep giving him more action. The performance was short, but it kept proving the point. McGee is ready for a real role. And personally, I can't wait to watch more. You think McGee needs to start getting 25 or 30 snaps every game? Should Witt roll out more 3 linebacker sets to put him out there with Vagner and Lovu? But none of that measures up to what's next. The cameras picked up something on the sidelines during the 2-minute warning. That got everyone talking. Bobby Vagner going OFF on his own teammates, and I'm not exaggerating. This dude was screaming, pointing, letting everybody know everything they were doing. WASNTENOUGH. Then Quinn had to come down off the booth and talk to his linebacker. And you know what Quinn said after the game? He didn't try to sugarcoat it. He owned up that Vagner's fire got the team's tempo tuned up. Quinn said they were subbing in and out, felt tense trying to get guys lined up and rolling. Vagner just wanted to let the guys plant their cleats and go. Wanted to get the wheels turning sooner. Second half, they nailed it. Wagner's blow-up wasn't some reckless tantrum. Defense was struggling early, missing tackles, losing track. Vagner saw the standard slipping and made it loud. Result: more focus, more juice. Commanders came out after half locked in, talking better, hitting harder. Wagner's explosion forced some urgency and the defense fed off it. And it wasn't the first time Wagner's shown this kind of leadership. Week 3. Dan Quinn took a shot from Marcus Mariota and noticeably got a bloody nose. While they were checking Quinn, Bobby Vagner was ready to spark the team again. But Quinn popped up, and Wagner's words weren't needed. Like Wagner said later, Quinn got rocked. Got up, and it was like a movie. While getting treatment, they weren't sure he'd get back out there. The team was huddling up, Wagner about to step up. And then Quinn just storms in saying he's got it. One of those moments that'll stick forever. Quinn's toughness sets the tone. Wagner follows with pure intensity, setting an edge for this locker room. That identity was on full display in Week 5. But let me spell out exactly what set Wagner off on the sidelines. 2-minute warning. Second quarter, Chargers had just scored to go up 10-0. Our defense gave up 128 yards on just 2 drives. Wagner saw guys not communicating. Some guys out of position. Others just not bringing enough urgency. So he just let it rip. Cameras caught Wagner pointing at different players, yelling instructions. Basically telling them to wake up. Some guys hanging heads. Others avoiding eye contact. What happened next? Quinn comes down, pulls Wagner aside for like 30 seconds, and after that, Wagner gathers the whole defense up. Whatever he said in that huddle, it hit home, because after halftime, our defense transformed. We gave up just 3 points in the final 2 quarters. 3 points. Against the Chargers offense averaging 27 a game, Commanders bounced back from a slow start. Chargers were up 10-0 after 1. But everything flipped after a clutch turnover. Quan Martin forced a fumble. Washington dropped 27 straight points and completely took control. Quinn patched up the D. Wagner held everyone accountable. And suddenly, Commanders were playing tight. But Wagner's Week 5 impact didn't stop with the drama. Check the stat sheet. His fingerprints were everywhere. 8 solo tackles. 14 total, most in the game. 1 QB hit. Wagner's leadership was obvious. He was barking out changes, staying aggressive, and stuffing the Chargers' run over and over. Heading into Week 5, there was noise about Wagner losing a step in coverage. But he timed his blitzes perfectly and flipped the game in Washington's favor again and again. His presence created a ripple effect. Darren Payne and Javon Kinlaw controlled the middle. Dorrance Armstrong and Von Miller stacked up 3.5 sacks together. Washington's pass rush battered Justin Herbert, who got sacked 4 times and finished with just 166 passing yards. Let me ask this: how many 34-year-old backers can still take over a game the way Wagner did Sunday? I'm telling you, almost none, maybe 3 or 4 in the league. Want to know why Wagner still has it? Because he preps harder than anyone else. This guy grinds more film than pretty much anybody in the NFL. He knows every opponent's style, every quarterback's habits, every O-lineman's weaknesses. Third quarter, there was a play that sums up his prep perfectly. Chargers facing 2nd and 7 in hour 45. Vagner reads the look, moves 3 yards to his right before the snap. Ball snapped. And it's the exact run Wagner called out pre-snap. He fills the gap, crushes the running back right at the line. 1-yard gain. That is experience. That is prep. THAT is football IQ off the charts. Here's the takeaway. Quinn and Wagner together give Washington muscle and laser focus. Commanders are now 3-2, took down the Chargers, and rolled out with momentum and a plan. Next up, it's sideline accountability, on-field execution. The coming stretch is gonna show if this edge will last. For now, Wagner's eruption stands as the moment Commanders decided good enough wasn't gonna cut it. And here's what's really wild about all this. While Eagles have Jalen Hurts creating drama with his guys in Philly, we've got vets like Wagner bringing the fire with purpose, with intention, to make the whole team better. That attitude, paired with hard-nosed play, could flip this whole season script quicker than any stats sheet ever will. Let me give you even more on why Wagner's leadership is critical for this team. We've got 9 rookies on the roster right now making regular contributions. 9. That's almost a third of our active roster. For those rookies, having Wagner around is priceless. They can pick up his work habits. They see how he preps. They're learning what it takes to carve out a long, successful NFL career. And Wagner doesn't just talk. He shows. Every practice, 100% effort. Every meeting, taking notes. Every film session, asking questions, sharing insights. That's real leadership. That's how you build a contender. 14 tackles versus the Chargers. Wagner didn't miss a single one. 0 missed tackles. Still textbook form. Still elite timing. Still in the right spot every damn play. Here's the kicker. Wagner signed with us for just $10.5 million for this season. $10.5 million. For a linebacker who just made 14 tackles and turned around a whole game. To compare, Cowboys are giving Micah Parsons $34 million a year. Eagles handed Hassan Reddick $22 million. We've got Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer, for $10.5. That's another cap win for Adam Peters. That's why this organization is geared to win long term. You think Wagner deserves the permanent defensive captain title? Was that sideline outburst justified, or did he go too far? Rookie record breaker, breakout backer, veteran leader. 3 headlines that prove this team is built different. Krosky Merritt just showed this run game's unstoppable. McGee proved he deserves a bigger role. Wagner reminded everyone that leadership still matters in this league. Bears are up next. Soft defense, transitional squad, and we've got momentum. We've got confidence. We've got the best run game in the NFL. So here's my question. You think Cliff Kingsbury's gonna give Krosky Merritt over 20 touches against Chicago? Should Joe would be giving Jordan McGee more linebacker snaps in the rotation? And how do you feel about Bobby Wagner's leadership? Was it just what this team needed? Drop your takes in the comments. Because this community, this Commanders family, is what makes this channel what it is. You're not just viewers, you're part of something bigger. If Krosky Merritt is your pick for the backfield's future, hit that like. If you think McGee should be a starter someday, subscribe. If you want Bobby Wagner to light a fire more often, share this with every Commanders fan you know. Because tomorrow, I'm dropping more breaking news, deeper analysis, more Commanders content you're not getting anywhere else with this level of detail and passion. This is your space. This is your home for all things Burgundy and Gold. And together, we're gonna keep growing, studying, celebrating every single dub of this squad we all love. Don't miss the next video, because I guarantee it's gonna be even more jaw-dropping than what you just heard.